Hello everyone, so today we are going to have a discussion about the WFDF rules of Ultimate 2021 to 2024. WFDF means World Fly Disc Federation. Yes, of course, I'm the presenter, Al-Jame Gumenggen, the secondary BPNA. So first, let me introduce to you the introduction of the Frisbee. Ultimate is a 7-a-side team sport played with a flying disc. It is played on a rectangular field about half the width of a football field, with an end zone and each end. The objective of each team is to score a goal by having a player catch a pass in the end zone that they are attacking. A throw may not run with the disc, but may pass the disc in any direction to any teammate. Anytime a pass is incomplete, a turnover occurs, and the other team shall take possession and attempt to score in the opposite end zone. Games are typically played to 15 goals around 100 minutes. Ultimate is a self-officiated and non-contact. The spirit of the game guides how players officiate the game and conduct themselves on the field. However, many of these rules are general in nature and cover most situations. However, some rules cover specific situation and override the general case. And also the variation to the basic structure and rules may be used to accommodate special competitions, number of players, age of players, or available space. Refer to a relevant appendix for additional rules that apply at specific types of World Flying Disc Federation or WFDF events. Therefore, sinasabi ng introduction natin that the Ultimate 7-side team sport play with flying disc. Ibig sabihin, ginagamitan siya ng flying disc, yun yung tinatawag na ginamit nilang pangtapon or throwing. So, ibig sabihin, ang kanilang court is played with rectangular field. So, half of the football, yung nilalarong football, so half of that court is yun yung size ng or measurement ng court ng Frisbee. With an end zone at each end. So, ganon. So, the objective nito ay makagol ka with 15 goals or around 100 minutes. So, ibig sabihin, so yung goal ng opposite side is makakagol in 15 points within 100 minutes. So let's proceed to the rules. So first is we have the spirit of the game. This means that the ultimate is non-contact, self-officiated sport. All players are responsible for administering and adhering to the rules. Ultimate relies upon a spirit of the game that places the responsibility for fair play on every player. So, ibig sabihin, ang larong Frisbee is sa Ultimate is a non-contact. Hindi siya kagaya ng basketball, hindi siya kagaya ng soccer, so hindi siya kagaya ng other games na contact, no? Yung merong mga parang bisikalan, so meron din yung Frisbee but responsibility nila is kailangan nagre-rely sila sa mga rules or regulations ng Frisbee. So, self-officiated sport ang Frisbee. And it is also trusted that no player will intentionally break the rules. So, ito na nga yung sinasabi natin. So, nagtitiwala ang larong Frisbee na there is no intentionally break the rules. So, walang lumalabag sa rules. Thus, there are no harsh penalty for an inadvertent breaches, but rather a method for resuming play in a manner which simulates what would be most likely have occurred had there been no breach. So yun na nga is the spirit of the game. So before I'm going to proceed to the next rules, so these rules of WFDF or the World Flying Disc Federation. So ginawa ko siyang summary, no? Hindi ko siya nilahat. But this summary gives you the proof that these are the rules of the Frisbee. So let's proceed to the number 2, playing field. So the playing field is a rectangular area with dimensions and zones as shown on figure 1 and should be essentially flat, free of obstruction, and afford reasonable player safety. So yun na nga, yung sinabi natin kayo na ang playing field is a rectangular area. Na half of yung football na nilalaro, half of the court of the football, so yung field ng Frisbee is half of the playing field of the football. So, therefore, the perimeter lines surround the playing field and consist of 2 sidelines along the length and 2 end lines along the width. Yan. And this picture presented that the measurements of the playing field of Frisbee. Ayun na nga. So, the end zone, ayan. 13 cm, ayan. Yan po, makikita nyo po. Playing field. So, now let's proceed to the equipment. So, any flying disc acceptable to both captains may be used. Yun na nga, yung flying disc is acceptable to both captains may be used. Yun na nga, yung ginagamit nila is called the flying disc. Yun na, WFDF or World Flying Disc Federation may maintain a list of approved discs recommended for use. Yun na nga, kung yung recommended ba or yun ba yung tamang flying disc na ginagamit nila. So each player must be wear a uniform that distinguishes their team. So yun na nga, kahit saan naman ang laro or saang mga Olympics, any players, so kailangan they have their own uniform, no? Kung mga jersey, ganyan. So para ma-determine natin kung saan ba yung team ng isa, saan ba yung team ng the other side, no? So para ma-determine natin kung kanino bang team yung wearing na ganitong klaseng uniform. So for yellow versus red, parang gano'n, ma-determine natin. So however, no player may wear items of clothing or equipment that reasonably could harm the wearer or other players or impede an opponent's ability to play. So ito na nga, so bawal sa mga players na magsusuot ng mga damit or mga equipment na kung saan ay makakasakit or makaka-injury sa kanilang mga kalaban. So kagaya ng magsusuot ka ng relo while you're playing this, so may possibility na yung relo ay makakatama sa mukha ng kalaban mo or pwede rin sa kakampi mo. So, yun ang equipment. So, let's proceed to the number 4, the point, goal, and game. This means that a game consists of a number of points. Each point ends with the scoring of goal. So, yun na nga. This is part of the objective of the team is to goal. So, goal. No, di ba? Scoring of a goal. So, yun yung nga. Objective is maka-goal ka 15 points within 100 minutes. So, a game is finished and won by the first team to score 15 goals. Yun na nga, yung sinabi natin. So, within 100 minutes. A game is separated into 2 periods of play called halves. Halftime occurs when a team first score 8 goals. Ibig sabihin, kapag makakascore ng 8 points, yung other team, or kung sino sa kanila, so dun magkatawag yung halftime. No, hindi kagaya ng mga basketball, may mga minuto sa first quarter, sa second quarter, dun yung tinatawag na halftime nila. So, yun. So, the first point of each half starts when the half starts. When the half starts. So, yun na. Explain na natin kanina. 5 teams. So, each team will put a maximum of 7 players and a minimum of 5 players on the field during each points. Each will put a maximum, ibig sabihin, 7 players ay pwede. Diba? Pero, pwede rin ang minimum or bababa sa 7, which is called the 5 players on the field during each point. So, each team must designate a captain and a spirit captain to represent the team. So, ibig sabihin, every team is magse-select sila ng isang captain. So, sa basketball, captain ball, parang gano'n. So, na kung saan is sila yung mag-represent sa kanilang team or yun yung magiging leader ng team. Sila yung magsasabi ng ganito or ganyan. So, a team may make unlimited substitutions after a goal is scored and before their team signals readiness for the pool. So, yun na nga. Maybe unlimited substitution. Ibig sabihin, unlimited na substitution siya. Kung sino yung gusto mag-substitute, so, pwede siyang pumasok. So number 6 is we have the starting a game. Representatives of the two teams fairly determine which team first chooses either whether to receive or throw the initial pool or which end zone they will initially defend. So the other team is given the remaining choice. So yun na nga. At the start of the second half, these initial selections are switched. So yun. The pool. So at the starting of the game, after halftime or after a score, play commences with a thrown by the defense called a pool. So yun na nga. So yung tinatawag doon is pool. The team must prepare for the pool without unreasonable delay. The pool may be made only after both teams have signaled. So yun na nga. So yung pool is made only after both teams have signaled. So pagkatapos nilang mag-signals, yun na nga, preparedness, no? Their readiness by having their puller and a player on offense raise our hand above their head. So yun na nga, tataas ng kamay above their head. So yun na nga, this means na ready na yung both teams. Play. This means that play is dead and turn or no turnover is possible. So after the start of the point until the pool is released. When the disc must be carried to the pivot location after the pool or a turnover until a pivot point is established. Number 9 is stall count. The marker administers a stall count on the turnover by announcing stalling and then counting from 1 to 10. The interval between the starts of each number in the stall count must be at least 1 second. So that means that is the stall count for the rules of Frisbee. And also, the stall count must be clearly communicated to the thrower. So yun na nga. So kailangan, klaro talaga yung communication ng stall count and to the thrower. So para mas madaling maayos yung laro. And number 10, the check. So, whenever play stops during a point for a foul, violation, contested turnover, specified turnover, contested goal, stoppage, discussion, or at the completion of the timeout. Play must restart as quickly as possible with a check. The check may only be delayed for the discussion of a goal. So, ibig sabihin, the check is kapag merong mga violations, merong mga turnover or contested goal, ibig sabihin, yun, iti-check nila kung meron ba, but may not only be delayed for the discussion of a call. So, player also the positioning after a call, except in the case of the timeout and unless specified otherwise. However, if play stops before a pass is thrown, all players must return to the location they held when the call was made. Number 11, out of bounds. This means that the entire playing field is in bounds. The perimeter lines are not part of the playing field and are out of bounds. All non-players are part of the out of bounds area. Ibig sabihin, kung sino yung mga manonood na not part of the game, yun yung mga out of bounds. Yung sa labas ng playing field, yun yung tinatawag na out of bounds in the rules of Frisbee. So, it is also that the out of bounds area consists of the ground which is not in bounds and everything in contact with it except for defensive players who are always considered in bounds. So, yun na nga. So, in number 12, we have the receivers and positioning. So, a catch occurs when a player has non-spinning disc dropped between at least two body parts. Catch can enable a player to establish possession of the disc. So, if the player fails to maintain the catch due to subsequent ground contact related to the catch, or contact related to the catch with a teammate or legitimately a position player, or possession is deemed to have not occurred. That is the receivers and positioning from the rules of the Frisbee or WFDF, which means the World Flies Disc Federation. In number 13, we have the turnovers. This means a turnover that transfers possession of the disc from one team to other occurs when So, therefore, the disc contacts the ground while it is not in the possession of an offensive player. So, it is called also a down. So, however, it is not down if a receiver catches a pass before the disc contacts the ground and maintain the catch while the disc is in contact with the ground. So, that is turnovers. So, in scoring, a goal is scored if an inbounds player catches a legal pass and all their grounds contacts are entirely within their attacking end zone. So, or for an airborne player, all of their first simultaneous points of ground contact after catching the disc are entirely within their attacking end zone. So, yun na nga yung scoring nila, no? So, kung sino yung makakauna sa end zone, so yun yung makaka-score. So, yung scoring nila is, yung explanation natin kanina, so kapag makaka 8 points ka, yun yung halftime nila. So, kapag makaka 15 points ka, ibig sabihin, game na yon. But, yung playing time ng Frisbee is 100 minutes. So, kailangan sa 100 minutes is makaka-score ka or makaka-goal ka ng 15 points. So, number 15, calling fouls, infractions, and violation. This means a breach of the rules due to non-minor contact between two or more opposing player is a foul. So, yun na nga. So, to non-minor, no, kapag meron mga contact, parang opposing players is a foul, yung tinatawag na foul. However, a player intentionally initiating a minor contact is still a breach of the rule. So, ibig sabihin, nandun siya sa rules, no? Belong siya sa rules. But is to be treated as violation. So, nagiging violation siya. And not a foul. So, violation siya, but it is not a foul. No? Non-contact. Parang ganun. So, in number 16, continuation after a call. So, pagkatapos ng tawag, ito yon. Whenever a foul or violation call is made or a player attempts to stop playing in any way, play stops immediately and no turnover is possible. So, ibig sabihin, kapag merong foul, no? Kapag merong foul, yun na nga. So, attempts to stop play in any, play stops immediately and no turnover. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya turnover, no? Turnover is possible. No turnover is possible unless in situations specified in 15.9, 16.2, and 16.3. Yun na nga. Makikita mo yan sa 15.9, 16.2. In number 17, we have the dangerous play. These actions demonstrating reckless disregard for the safety or fellow players or posing significant risk of injury to fellow players. Yun na nga. So, kapag merong may mga yung mga maduduming laro, parang gano'n, yung makaka-injury sa pwede rin sa kasama mo or sa kalaban mo. So, yun nga. Dangerously aggressive behavior siya. But are considered dangerous play and must be treated as a foul. So, yun na nga. Pwede siyang matawagan ng foul. Regardless of whether or when contact occurs. Kung saan ba yung mangyari. In number 18, infractions and violations. This means the marking infractions. We also have the marking infraction include the following. Fast count the marker. So, starts on continues the stall count illegally. Does not start or restart the stall count with stalling. So, yun na nga. Naintindihan naman natin to. So, counts in less than 1 second intervals. You also have does not correctly reduce or reset the stall count when required or does not start the stall count from the correct number. So, ibig sabihin, di ba, kapag hindi tayo magsisimula sa tamang counting, ibig sabihin, magkakaroon siya ng infractions or violations. So, yun na nga. So, maintindihan natin kung kapag yung counting naman ay mabilis, so magkakaroon siya ng infractions and violations. So, gano'n na, kapag di mo na-restart yung counting or with stalling, so ibig sabihin, magkakaroon ka ng infractions and violations. That is number 18 from the rules of WFDF. In number 19, safety stoppage. So, you know how to pronounce this or how to read this, but safety stoppage. Injury stoppage. An injury stoppage or the injury may be called by the injured player or by any player on the injured player's team. Ayan. So, puputo lamang yung laro kapag merong injury na tinawag or merong player na tinawag or may player na na-injury sa kanilang team. If the injury was not caused by an opponent, the player must choose either to be substitute or to charge their own team with a timeout. So yun na nga, kapag merong merong na injury pero hindi kasalanan ng kalaban mo, so ibig sabihin may possible na pipili ka either isa-substitute mo yung player na injury or magtatawag ka ng timeout para sa kanilang safety kung may ano bang talagang nangyari na hindi kadahilanan ng kanilang mga kalaban. So last is we have the timeouts. This means that the player calling a timeout must form of T. Yan, tatawag na T. With their hands or with one hands and the disc and should call timeout to opposition player. So ibig sabihin, meron silang mga signals. So sa basketball, yung sa shoulder, yung timeout nila. Pwede rin ganito. So, however, sa Frisbee is sign of timeout. Ganito. Yan. So, after the start of point and before both teams have signaled readiness, a player form either team may call a timeout, yan, or the timeout extends the time between the starts of the point and subsequent pull by 75 seconds. So yun na nga. That is the timeouts for the rules of Frisbee. So this is the last discussions that we have for this WFDF. So this means that the World Flying Disc Federation. So I hope meron tayong mga natutunan, meron tayong magagamit in the future generation na kapag tayo ay maglalaro ng Frisbee. So kapag meron mga violation, so malalaman natin ito that this is violation, this is not a violation. So malalaman din natin kapag 8 points na yung goal natin, doon na yung magkakaroon ng timeouts ang every team na makakauna ng 8 points. And malalaman din natin that the minutes of the game is only 100 minutes per 100 minutes yung nilalaro. And the playing field, playing field is nalaman din natin ng half of the playing field of this football. So half of that is the playing field of the Frisbee. So thank you for watching and thank you for listening. I hope you have a lot of understanding. You gain a lot of understanding, and to me, so meron din akong natutunan, sobrang dami when it comes to the rules of rules and regulation of the WFDF, or should I say that the World Federation, World Flying Disc Federation. So I hope meron tayong lahat natutunan. So that could be all. Thank you for listening, and once again, a good day.